welcome everybody. This is the 7th episode of the Golden Attitude Era podcast. We're all back after a little bit of a hiatus here for the summer. We all went and did a little bit of vacationing, and somebody bought a house. Congratulations to Scales on that one.
Thank you.
Must be nice having all that money to buy a house.
Yeah.
$1 million man.
Yep. You want my belt?
He's no LA Knight.
Yeah. So before we get into the show, just wanted to let you guys know that you can find us at the Golden Attitude Era podcast on YouTube and Facebook, and at the Golden Attitude Era on TikTok and Instagram. So we are going to do something a little different here today. I am going to try to give you guys something new, maybe to go and check out in our new segment called Check It Out. In this episode, in this clip, I should say, that I'm going to present to you, and it's going to be in our description at the bottom of the YouTube channel here. It's going to be a video of Jim Cornette and a debut on Memphis Wrestling. So this is actually Jim Cornette's complete debut in wrestling altogether. It's clear as day. You can already see little hints of how good he's going to be about it all. But you can definitely still see that he has a long way to go. It's pretty cool. As I said, I definitely want people to go and check it out, because Jim Cornette is and always will be one of my all-time favorites. The guy I just find him absolutely hilarious. I know some people find him a little bit too much in one way or the other, but I can't get enough of his antics and stuff he says.
This ain't no rib.
The way he presents it. So with all that, again, please go check out the all our different social media pages and check out that clip of Jim Cornette and Memphis Wrestling, all-time debut, and let us know what you think. So with all that, now we're going to throw it over to the Fast Man for everybody's second favorite segment this week in wrestling history.
What's the first one?
We'll have to determine that.
Okay. Well, thank you there, Champ. Welcome back, everybody. It was good to get away for a little bit. See some people I hadn't seen in a while, so it's good to get away, recharge the batteries. But with that being said, I know you've all missed the number one segment in the podcast this week in wrestling history. So I've got a couple of goodies this week, ladies and gentlemen. We are in SummerSlam season, and yes, SummerSlam is a couple 3 weeks away, live on the Peacock Network from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas on a Saturday night. And I don't know why it's on a Saturday night this year, but hey, I guess they had their reasons. But who remembers SummerSlam 97?
Oh, I do. It's my favorite of all time.
Were you there?
Sure. I wasn't there. It was around, it was not far from all of us, right? It was in Jersey, right?
Yep, it was in East Rutherford, New Jersey, in the swamps of Jersey, right across from Giant Stadium, which is not a bad stadium. I've been there for a game.
Armpit of America.
What was that?
New Jersey, the armpit of America.
Jersey, the armpit of America. Yep. So, a lot of people, if people remember the main event of that, it was an angle with Bret Hart and his Canada versus America, and the Hart Foundation and Brian Pillman and all them, where if Bret Hart did not win the WWF title from The Undertaker, he was vowing not to ever wrestle again in America. Well, obviously, the real wrestling fans knew that, come on, being under contract, there was no way he was not gonna win, not gonna win the belt. It was just a matter of how. I
didn't know that. I was in. I was 9. I was all in.
Well, you were just a little kid at the time.
Yeah.
I was 16 at the time.
I was 12.
So,
yeah.
Okay. So you guys were more believable than I was.
Yeah.
So we had Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. Obviously, we all know the rivalry that Bret and Shawn had starting back in when the Rockers and the and the Hart Foundation. And then so on and so on and so on. I'm not going to rehash it. We all know it. The main event, back and forth match, great match. It ended where Bret Hart spit in the face of Shawn Michaels after like a bad decision or something. And then Shawn Michaels took the chair trying to hit Bret Hart. Wham! Crushes the Undertaker's skull in and reluctantly counted the 1, 2, 3 for Bret Hart to win the belt, which obviously led to the Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at Hell in a Cell. That's down the road. Yeah. We'll get into that at another time.
Great stories, great setup of all storylines there in that match.
Yep, we could get into like a 2 hours just on that leading into the Hell in a Cell after that. But the one match that people forget from that pay-per-view was Austin versus Owen Hart for the IC belt. It was a good match, but obviously the one part that everybody remembers is when Owen did the tombstone pile driver and dropped Austin on his head, and actually hurt him. Austin was legit hurt.
Did you know that Austin did not want to do that move? Mm-hmm. He tried numerous times to tell and talk Owen out of it. Mm-hmm. Owen was not budging on it for some reason.
Yep, I remember, and I think I remember seeing this on YouTube that he had a match with who was it? I think it was Dan Severn, where he actually hurt. I mean, he paralyzed Dan Severn.
Yeah, that one was a work, I think. He did the same move on him, right? They did a work that he hurt his neck too, I think.
Okay, but I thought that one I thought was real.
Yeah, so it looked bad too.
Yep, but Austin ended up winning the belt because they basically had to they had to immediately go to the final part of the match, and it was just weird, but there was nothing else they could do. So that's the main thing that I remember about that pay-per-view from August 3rd, 1997. But here's a goodie one for you guys, and we'll make this episode short and sweet tonight. Smoky Mountain Wrestling, 1994, August 5th.
Little Jim Cornette action.
Little Jimmy Cornette action. That's for you there, champ.
Nice.
Yep, August 5th, Smoky Mountain Wrestling Night of Legends. We had the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton, and Robert Gibson defeating Brian Lee and Skip Chris Candido for the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Tag Team Championships. You also had Chris Jericho and Lance Storm defeating Jimmy Del Rey and Dr. Tom Pritchard in a street fight.
Do you have down what Lance Storm and Chris Jericho's team name was?
I don't. All I remember is that's all it said.
Steve, you want to give it to him?
The Thrill Seekers, right?
Did you guys ever see the video that Cornette put together for him?
They're so classic.
Terrible. I love bad stuff, but that was bad stuff.
Yeah, those are funny. People need to go back and watch those.
Definitely.
But the reason why I want to bring that up because I remember in 1994 when Cornette actually came into the WWF, his opening night, he was trying to put over a possible match between the Steiners, who were at the time the WWF Tag Team Champions, and Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express.
Do you think that he was actually trying to put over the match? Because when we were talking about this earlier, I was thinking about this, and you saying it again just made me think about it even more. Do you think he was trying to put over a match between them and the Steiners, or do you think that he was just trying to put them in the same category in the same conversation as the Steiner brothers, who at the time was the big company's tag team titles? Just knowing how Cornette talks and like how he does, like explains things on his podcast about how he would go about doing things. I feel like that would be something more that he may have done, not saying on his own, because I'm sure they said go out there, talk, but I feel like he may have done that and not really ever had the idea. It just kind of threw it out there, you know what I mean? But who knows? Us three will never really know unless they
Honestly,
bring it up.
right. I think honestly, it could be a situation like you'd see now, where and this is going to what we know now about wrestling, where you'd have in AEW the Young Bucks as the tag champs, and then Don Callis calling out, say, the New Day for a match, sort of like that now. Just using that as a reference. It depends what you ask.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because Rock and Roll Express was, I mean, to the people that watch territory wrestling, they were probably just as big or bigger than the guys that were on WWF and WCW, like the Steiners
Right.
at the time, right? So,
right.
Depending on who you were and where you were watching pro wrestling, those are two of the biggest tag teams of all time, right there, right?
Right. So,
well, it wasn't Rock and Roll Express though. It was, wasn't it the Gigolo and the Doctor that he was
Heavenly
promoting?
Bodies?
Yeah.
No, the match he wanted was the Rock and Roll Express and the Steiners, but he was also talking about the Heavenly Bodies as well.
Okay. Well, my thought process was including the Heavenly Bodies, not the Rock and Roll Express. If it's the Rock and Roll Express, that changes everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Heavenly Bodies a little lower down the totem pole.
Absolutely.
In the historical ranks.
Okay. So that's where I was coming from.
Right. So, but at the end of the day, gang, those were the two main things that I found for this week in wrestling history. So with that being said, like I said, I wanted to keep it short and sweet. I will now pass it off to begin our main event segment.
All right. So today, what we will be doing is we will be going over our favorite WWF, let me emphasize that, WWF title matches between 85-ish with a little bleed over into 84 because we were kind of iffy on when we wanted to have the actual golden era. Golden era kind of start. Was it when Hogan won it, or was it more like 85 when Rock and
giving away one of
came?
My messages. What's the matter with you?
So we will we'll kind of go from there. But Steve was nice. Will be nice enough to kind of put up his screen here and show us our chart. What we're going to be doing again is we listed our top 10 matches in our opinions. After doing that, we went ahead and came with an average of our three rankings to kind of see where our top 5 would lay out. Once we kind of do our top 5, we'll then go ahead and once we go ahead and do our top 10, we'll look over and see where the top 5 came out. We'll talk about a couple matches that didn't make the cut and just kind of see where we would which one we would lean to picking one over the other. So without further ado, I am going to give it to the fast man and let him start from number 10 and work his way up to number 1. And then we'll proceed to go with the scales, and then I'll come out and round it out before going over to the show's overall top 5 and some picks we got there and some reason to why we chose what matches where. So without me talking anymore, fast man, take it away. Let us know your top 10.
You got it, champ. So as you can see here, my number 10 was Hogan versus the Sheiky Baby at MSG Christmas week 1984. It was really close to find that match on there, but that was my number 10. My number 9 was the first ever Saturday Night Main Event, Hogan versus Andre, where Andre won, but then DiBiase bought the belt. Number 8, I had SummerSlam 1990, Ultimate Warrior, versus Rick Rude in a cage. Ultimate Warrior versus the Heenan family, basically. That was continuing that rivalry. Number 7, you had Hogan versus The Undertaker at Survivor Series 91, where obviously Hogan regained the belt 9 days later, in Texas. Number 6, I had WrestleMania 8, Flair versus Savage. No other explanation needed there. Number 5, Hogan versus Slaughter. Number 4, WrestleMania 5, Hogan Macho Man. Number 3, and this is where things started to get really dicey, real close. I had WrestleMania 6, Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior. You're seeing a pattern here, folks. Number 2, and this could have easily been flip-flopped. Number 2, I had Royal Rumble 92, where Flair won the belt. And then number 1, WrestleMania 3, Hogan versus Andre. Basically the first passing of the torch.
Good list. I'll dive into mine, and we'll kind of go into depth in these a little later for all those that are eagerly anticipating us talking about these matches in depth. So for my top 10 list, number 10, I had Royal Rumble 91, Ultimate Warrior defending against Slaughter. We know Macho King gets involved there, and Slaughter wins the title.
Yep.
My number 9, I had a lot of people. Some people may know about this match. I don't think it's one that many people know about, but it's a Saturday night's main event.
Match.
Yeah, good match from April of '89. Hogan defending the title against Big Boss Man and the big blue steel cage with the Slickster was Boss Man's manager. Just a good match. There's a superplex off the top of the cage. When Zeus is there in the beginning, and then there's the big superplex off the top of the cage, which was probably unheard of at that time, which is pretty awesome. Number 8, Survivor Series 91, Taker's first WWF title. Number 7, WrestleMania 7, Slaughter versus Hogan. Number 6, WrestleMania 8, Randy Savage winning the title from the Nature Boy. Number 5.
Very underrated match.
Yeah, great match. Number 5, and I just rewatched this a couple nights ago because I hadn't seen it in a while. Bret Hart defending the WWF title at Survivor Series 92 against Shawn Michaels. It's like
Is that title for title?
He was the IC title champion, but it wasn't title for title. It was just for a WWF title. It's like a 30-minute match. It's pretty awesome.
It was a great match. I remember.
Yeah, it was great.
My number 4, Mega Powers Explode, WrestleMania 5. Oops, sorry.
Whoa.
Sorry,
Hello.
I lost you there. Number 3, WrestleMania 6, Hogan Warrior. I had the same as the Fassman there for my number 3 pick. Number 2, WrestleMania 3, Hogan versus Andre. And we did a little flip-flop here, me and Corey. My number 1 was the 92 Royal Rumble with Ric Flair winning the WWF.
We're pretty close.
Yeah. Our top is we're pretty close in general. We have similar tastes.
We did.
I mean, it's tough, dude, because when you're doing this, you're like Hogan again,
Hogan, Flair.
Hogan was posing, man.
Hogan pose.
This era.
All right.
This is the Hogan era.
Yep, absolutely.
All right.
So
KVT.
My number 10 pick overall was the Saturday night main event on April 25th, 89. Hogan versus the Big Boss Man in the cage match. Steve touched on a couple things. I love that superplex off the top of the cage, and I'll just say Hogan knows how to sell.
I guess I have to go back and watch that match. I didn't even.
Yeah, you should.
I didn't even think of that match.
Definitely.
So WrestleMania 8, I had Flair Savage. It was a good match, but I guess I have a little bit of bitterness because at this time I was a big Hogan fan still. And the fact that the whole the Royal Rumble and everything went down with the way it was and the way the Sid thing kind of played out, I wasn't a fan of that. Although I was happy to see Papa Shango poke his head in that. But that's kind of why I have Flair Savage down a little bit. Great match nonetheless. Can't disrespect it in any way. This next one here, I bet you not a lot of you guys have watched this at all. This is the match after Hogan beats him after WrestleMania 5. It's the return match. He just now has Sherry in his corner. He's just getting to the point of Macho King. Like you see the formation of it. And Hogan is great in this, guys. Hogan has a little interaction with Sherry. It's amazing. Check it out. Please check it out.
I'm gonna watch that. I never seen that one. I'm gonna
yeah, it's good, man. It's really good. It's like 15, 16 minutes, I think. Very good. The next one, the Saturday night main event. I was there with Fassman on this one. It was such a cool angle, man. Like, come on, dude. Like, that was cool. That was awesome.
Yeah.
What is this? Number 6 for me?
Number 6, yep.
I had Hogan Macho. I don't know. I think I wanted them to be together. It was like, I don't know. I just wasn't that. I mean, it's number 6, right? So it's not really that well.
Yeah.
Now Hogan War, another one that people love, but like I was a Hogan fan. I didn't like the fact that he lost.
Did you cry?
I don't know. Can't remember. What's this? Number 4. Number 4, I got Ric Flair versus Bret Hart. I think that was in Saskatchewan, if I'm not mistaken.
Saskatchewan.
Yep. Thank you. I mispronounced it.
Whatever.
Yep. Number 3, I got Hogan and Andre. This match was probably what changed everything for us. Like, made it special. Number 2, I got the Royal Rumble 92. How cool was it, man, that it was a Royal Rumble for the title. And I think I was sitting there, I'm like, that was the only reason why I couldn't put it as number 1, is because it wasn't a true title match. And my number 1 was WrestleMania 7 versus Hogan and Slaughter versus Hogan. I can't wait to tell you why. There was that match was just something else for me. I think that was the match that really got me completely sold into Hulkamania, like wrestling,
patriotism, and all that.
Everything.
Yeah. Great story. All right. Do you want me to go over to the
one thing? Hold on. How could you say Rumble 92 was not a title match?
I didn't. That's not what I said.
Like a real title match? Is that what you mean?
One-on-one.
Like a 1v1. Like
okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's definitely
take some of the luster away. I can see your point there.
I got you.
So much going on, but the fact that who won it and everything, I love it, and how the whole entire time Heenan was there. I'm not trying to knock it at all.
Heenan made the match.
Yeah, he really did. He accentuated it perfectly. So this right here, it's all of our rankings kind of conjumbled into a quick little average formula, and this is what it spit out. I'm gonna start from the bottom here. We have a tie between Warrior Slaughter 91 at the Royal Rumble and MSG Hulk versus Sheik. I'm kind of curious when I was doing this. You can see I kind of put asterisks on the ties here. I just wanted to see what you two thought. Obviously, this one, Corey, you had Hogan, and Steve, you had Warrior versus Slaughter.
Yep.
When you're side by side like this, you still stick with what you were saying?
So I've never seen. So that match with Hogan and Sheik is not the one where Hogan won the title, as Corey pointed out to me.
No,
so this is just like a regular house show MSG live event or whatever. I've never seen this match.
No. He won the title from him on that show. On that night.
No, he won it earlier in '84. It wasn't December.
I'll look it up.
All right.
But I could be, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
We'll come back. We'll come back to the Fast Man on that one. But side by side, let's say hypothetically, let's say Fast Man's right.
Yeah.
And this was that title match. Which one would you think you'd go with?
I mean, Hogan winning the title is like the dawn of this era, right? And it's so hard because the Warrior Slaughter match.
That's the scepter match, right?
Yeah. Macho King, whacks him with the scepter. It's just a good story. Going into the match.
That was the angle where Sherry was trying to make advances at the Warrior.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll stick with my pick just because I don't want to seem like I'm being
a flopper.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't go wrong either way. I don't think.
Gotcha.
No,
Corey, how about you?
No, I mean, if I'm wrong, I can't believe I was sloppy and forgot about
no,
Warrior versus Slaughter.
I'm asking which one you think.
In hindsight, I like Steve's better.
Yeah.
But I mean, if if my information, if my sources humanoids is right, because I am a broadcast journalist, then obviously Hogan, if Hogan winning the belt from Sheik, if that was the case on that night, then going into the new year, I'll stick with what I had.
Scales, I think the fast man's flustered. I think he thinks he's wrong. I think he knows he's wrong.
No.
And we're going to move on so we don't have to get him any more redder than he is, because I think he knows.
No. Right. Then let's look it up now. While you two are talking, I think the fast man will go to the videotape.
All right. So Scales, I know this one's going to be tough for you, because if I look here, you didn't even put Flair versus Hart. You got and you got Hogan and Taker number 8.
Yeah.
Now that so let me ask you, did you even think about it?
Flair versus Hart? Yeah, I mean it was on probably like 11 or 12 for me. Like it was right outside there.
Okay. So what made you? Because I know how big of a Hart fan you are.
Yeah.
What made you go Taker Hogan?
The story.
Okay.
Taker, obviously that's Hart's first title win too against Flair.
Yep.
But for some reason, I mean, because it happened on like a live event, and this one was Survivor Series, I think always holds a better memory, a better recall and a memory for me. Not that I haven't seen the other one a bunch of times, but just I guess the Survivor Series magic and the Undertaker. How his character was at that time and Flair getting involved. It was just more of a spectacle, I guess.
Yeah, I gotcha. See, with me, I kind of like those like sneaky ones, you know what I mean? Where it's just kind of like they gotcha.
Yeah.
The couple that I think of, and I don't know if you guys just watched the newest Broken Skull with what is it? Austin's podcast on WWE there. I can't think of the name of it. Broken Skull.
Broken Skull Sessions.
Broken Skull Sessions.
Yep, thank you. I knew I was missing something to it. Where he was talking to
Kevin
Diesel
Nash?
Kevin Nash about his versus Backlund. And one of the reasons why they do that is to kind of get people to come back to the house shows and stop not going to them. MSG was down. So I think that was pretty cool. I think that was kind of the same thought process there. I always like those little sneaky ones, like when Samoa Joe beat Finn Balor, was it?
Yeah.
I like that. NXT did a great job with that one. So that's the type of stuff that I like when it comes to the matches. So Corey, what did you?
I was wrong. I was wrong. It was January 23rd. I thought that he had won the title, but he actually retained the title.
Either way, we'll let it slide because it was a title match. How about that?
Yeah, it's a title match. So either way,
don't lose face. Yeah. You're a heel, buddy. You can always powder out and find a way. You can always find a way. So just kind of give you a little rundown of what one didn't make the top 10. At number 15, Warrior vs. Slaughter at Royal Rumble. The now rematch, Hogan versus Sheik at MSG in '84. We got the Maple Leaf Garden return match, Macho versus Hogan with Cher in Macho's corner. We got the Big Boss Man in the cage match versus Hogan on Saturday Night Main Event. Those last two we talked about. I would highly suggest people checking those out. Corey, love this selection here, buddy. Yeah. This was great. SummerSlam Warrior.
I cannot believe neither of you two had that in your top 10 anywhere.
I was debating it. I was debating that one. That was
good, man.
Yeah.
92 Hulk HBK versus Brett. That was a good one as well. Hogan. This one we already kind of touched upon. Flair Hart we went into. The infamous terrible whiplash that Hogan got from the terrible chair shot. And then we got
you didn't even hit the chair.
Right? Steve, that was you that told the story, right? That was you?
Yep.
Yeah, that was good. And then one of my favorite highlights, since you guys both touched base on this one a little bit, is in this match, I think this was the first time that I ever really saw blood build up the way it did in anybody's hair and so noticeably from Ric Flair.
Yep.
Now, mind you,
Crimson red. hair drenched.
We saw Hogan always bloody, but his wasn't as like profound as that. So that one always kind of sticks out. And now, since we kind of wrapped up the bottom, the 10 that kind of got missed on the outside, we're going to get into our top 5 here. And we'll start off with Fassman leading us into what particular match he wants to talk about.
You guys there? I swear I thought I just saw something happen to my computer. So
yeah,
okay.
I don't know what that was. That was weird.
Okay, no, it's okay. But it just must have been a technical glitch. So getting back to what we were discussing, going over our condensed, comprehensive top 5. We had WrestleMania 5, Hogan versus Savage, the end of the Mega Powers. WrestleMania 7 as number 4, Slaughter versus Hogan, the most patriotic WrestleMania. We had Hogan Warrior at number 3, WrestleMania 6. Friend versus Friend, title versus title. We had WrestleMania 3, Hogan versus Andre, the passing of the torch. And number 1, the greatest moment in my life, Ric Flair winning the only title, heavyweight title that matters.
With a tear in my eye.
This is the greatest moment of my life. So for me, I would say my favorite one, I don't remember 3 that much, obviously, because I was 3 years old. But I mean, that to me, that was the passing of the torch from Andre to Hogan. Hogan was already starting to make a name for himself. I always thought that Andre, watching that match, was already the champion, not realizing that Hogan was already the champion. You would think that would have been a match where it would have been more perfect if Andre was the champion to really pass the torch. Hogan slams him and then give the leg drop to officially win the belt.
Well, Corey, as you know, Hogan was afraid of Andre and would never give him the title shot. So that's why he was never the champion. And that's why we're having the match.
Well, again,
he's a coward. He's yellow.
Well, he's your boy. Hogan was your guy.
I know he is. I'm just giving you a Heenan.
I know, but I always thought, like, remember, I was so young at the time. I always thought that Andre was the champion because he was Andre the Giant. He was God, the god of wrestling at the time.
Yeah.
Even more of a god than Ric Flair in NWA or Harley Race. Everybody wanted to be Andre the Giant. The ladies wanted to be with him. The men wanted to be him. The man could drink all night and then go out and kick your ass the next day.
So what was your favorite part of the match?
The entrances were cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, Andre coming out on that
motorized ring.
Thank you.
That was for they did that specifically for him, right?
Yeah, because he's so big and heavy. I mean, there's no way he would have been able to walk to the ring.
It was like a football field that they
at the Pontiac Silverdome.
Yep.
And they did the same thing at I remember they did the same thing at WrestleMania 6 for him as well.
I always liked that. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
They need to. I think they need to bring, if they ever have WrestleManias in big stadiums like that, they need to bring that stuff back. I thought that old school stuff was pretty cool. But I went to that point alone, Corey, not to cut you off mid-sentence. And Steve, I think you're about to jump and say something. I kind of want them to go away from stadium. I know they won't because of their model and everything. Mm-hmm. I want them to go back to a Madison Square Gardens where they had the X and it just opened up and they walked down. It was just, I don't know. It always goes back to WrestleMania 10 for me guys, as you know. As you can 10
see.
and 20 were there.
Yeah, I know, but 10 was just so good. I don't know. Anyways, they were great. Steve, what were you gonna say?
I don't mind the stadiums as long as they're indoor. I feel like it's a different vibe
like Dallas
than the outdoor stadiums. I'm not a big fan of the outdoor stadium WrestleManias.
Yeah.
So
And
did
another
you?
thing that I remember Dudley Boy saying is, or Austin was saying it too. You could like the sound just goes straight up in the big stadium. You can't hear it. So
Yeah.
I think that's another reason why I like the older stadiums, because there was like more on you. You felt the crowd. It was made the viewing experience more intense or more, I don't know, lively, I guess I could say. But yeah, Corey, go ahead.
Yeah.
Intimate.
So no, I mean I like the. And I think I like them more, like the big stadiums, because obviously I was at 18 in Toronto, 32 in Dallas. I never had the chance to see a WrestleMania at a place like at the Garden or in Boston or Philadelphia, where it had that like maximum 15 to 20,000 seat arena. So, but at the end of the day, my number one obviously was Hogan Andre. The consensus was number two. I'll toss it to Steve to give his thoughts now. Go ahead, Commissioner Regal.
Sure. So for me, my top pick ended up being the top pick, but consensus-wise, the '92 Royal Rumble. Such fond memories of the '92 Royal Rumble. God, I don't even know how many times I've watched it at this point. I mean, it's ridiculous. Multiple times.
I can go back and watch it. I can watch it anytime I want to.
Yeah. I mean, just the list of Hall of Famers in this match alone. Hogan, Savage, Flair, Taker, Shawn Michaels, Roberts.
Perfect.
No, Perfect wasn't in this. DiBiase, Bulldog, Kerry Von Erich. I mean, there's just so many huge names. Sid Justice.
Kerry Von Erich, the Ultimate Warrior?
No, the Texas Tornado.
Oh, okay.
Just so many huge names. And obviously we all know, who the man is that takes the WWF title down. There's only been 2 Royal Rumbles for the WWF title. They did one a few years ago, right? With Triple H.
Triple H eliminating
Roman Reigns. Yeah.
And then who did he toss out last?
I think it was Reigns, right? No?
Nope. I got him.
Yeah. I wasn't my recall is better on the older stuff.
I got him. It was Dean Ambrose.
Ambrose, okay. But anyway, so
finally been stumped.
Good thing our trivia is only from the Golden Attitude Era.
Shoot. I'm still taking that as a win.
Just a lot of great storylines in this match. Jake Roberts and Randy Savage were in a heated storyline. Undertaker, with Hogan. Obviously Flair and Sid Justice and with Hogan. Flair going the distance, basically coming in at number 3, lasting for a whole hour. Bobby Heenan's commentary, it's not fair to Flair. The whole match, like going crazy. I just love this match.
There goes your meal ticket, brain.
Dude, hold on 1 second. When Gorilla, the whole entire time, I think if you wanted to point, if you're somebody like from nowadays, let's say your daughter wants to know, like, why was Gorilla and Bobby Heenan so good? Put her in front of that match.
Yeah.
You get an hour of it. You get an hour of him just antagonizing. And then Bobby finally, for the first time ever, I think, besides Rick Rude when he got the IC title, got a title. You know what I mean? And he was able to just freak out. I love it. I love it.
Crazy. Yeah. Just so many. A couple other quick moments that stick in my head from that match. The ring would end up clearing, and Flair would be the last one in, like a few different times. One time Piper came out, and he was like a madman. He went crazy on Flair. And then the other time was Boss Man, who was babyface at this point. And I just remember like this. He was doing this like finger wag at Flair, like, no, you ain't knocking me out of this ring. Just so many good stories, and obviously Flair taking his crowning moment.
In that match, didn't Boss Man get caught up in the rope and his neck got caught on his way
neck
out?
His neck didn't get caught, but he I think it was on his elimination.
The bottom rope, right?
Yeah, when he got eliminated, he got thrown into the rope and kind of got hung up in it and then flipped out. It was it looked pretty brutal. I know what you're talking about. It was
awkward as hell, right?
Yeah, it looked pretty bad.
Okay. Another moment of that match with elimination is Macho Man eliminating himself was a good one. And then the Undertaker trying to go and get him, and then Gorilla Monsoon on the mic trying to cover up for what they're doing while they're trying to cover up for what he just did.
I feel like nobody knew. Like, I don't know that Savage knew he eliminated himself. The commentators didn't know if that was a legit elimination or not, because he ended up coming back in, right? But they're saying he's gone, so like nobody knew.
No, Savage wasn't the brightest one in the
Monsoon came back and said, "Oh no, because he wasn't thrown over by another opponent, so he's able to get back in and all that type of stuff." It was great. I love that.
Yeah, but that's my pick. 92 Royal Rumble, my favorite WWF title match from the Golden Era. Kyle, KVT, what was your?
My number one was WrestleMania 7, Sergeant Slaughter and Hulk Hogan. Behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen, I've been pushing for us to talk a little bit more about Sergeant Slaughter, but Scales, the commissioner, has been saying, "I don't think so, pal." So right now, I'm going to take my time.
Here's your time
to kind of talk about this guy, because this match right here and like this WrestleMania, I believe it was, what was this? It was on the Gulf War. What year was this?
91.
91, right?
91, yeah.
So like I obviously had to go back and watch this, and what I used to do when VHS was still around, there used to be a place called FYE for all you youngins, and I would go like probably once or twice a month, and after like save up money and going and buying VHSs of all the WrestleManias 1 through 14. And when I got to this one, it was like the way that the VHSs, they had a little bit extra, like, so they had the storylines on it and all those, like these extra little Coliseum clips and whatnot, right? So like I got to see like what was building up to it and all that. And I don't know what it was. I think it was like just the America, like all that type of stuff just wrapped into it. And that was back when you could really play into those type of emotions. And then like once you get like he's burning the flag, Slaughter was a turncoat. But then you actually get into the match, and like it's just like Hogan is say what you will about him, ultimate seller. I don't think there's not too many people that sell better than him. He was freaking great at that, man. They're just amazing. And then he gets them all bloody, throwing them against the post and the camel clutch. And I think the little rat, what's his name? The guy on the outside there, what was his name?
General Adnan?
Yes. I think he even jumped in on like the camel clutch too at one point in time, didn't he?
Yeah, it was chic.
Was that Chic? It was Cheeky Baby. Yeah. You're right. It was Cheeky Baby. But I don't know, that match, you know, like for everything that's so obvious about it was just great. And then you had, I think it was it Jesse, Gorilla, and Bobby Heenan? No. It was Gorilla and Bobby Heenan. I think this may have been one of the first ones without Jesse.
Jesse, yeah.
Yeah, but like, you know, so you got them and
no Lord Alfred.
No, Gorilla and Bobby. Yeah, so the whole match was just awesome. I don't know if you guys have any certain points about it that stick out to you, but I just remember I was wrapped up in it. That's really all I can say about it.
Do you remember where 7 was actually supposed to be?
Los Angeles, at the Coliseum.
Do you know why it was moved?
Yeah, they were afraid of bomb threats and all the stuff like that. That's what I was trying to get. I'm glad you asked that. That's what I was trying to get across when I was saying like everything was wrapped up around the Gulf War. Like it was like serious tension. Like Sergeant Slaughter's wife was like at the very beginning of this, "You sure you want to do it?" And he goes, "Yeah, I think it'd be good for the character." And she goes, "You better know what you're doing," and blah blah blah. So some type of wife type of thing, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he was legit. He was getting death threats too.
No, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I'm getting into. Basically, she knew what was gonna happen, but she like needed him to like just make the mind up himself. You know what I mean? Type of deal. Yep. And like, I can't remember if it was on one of the more A&E, more recent A&E, but I know it was definitely on some YouTube videos that I've seen of it where he's basically like, she got a call from Vince McMahon saying like, "Hey, you're going to get with these guys. They're going to take you to this location because you're getting these type of bomb threats." And then like 24 hours later, Sergeant Slaughter was finally able to call her and contact her, and she's like chewed him out and stuff like that. I always thought that was kind of a funny story. Like, what did I tell you? Like that type of thing. I can't remember exactly where I saw it, but I know it's been mentioned in numerous locations.
Yeah,
so
great.
That's
great,
my thoughts on that.
Great storyline. I mean, just another great in this Hogan era of WrestleManias. Slaughter, he was the American soldier, the GI Joe come to life, and now he's the Iraqi sympathizer and going against Hogan. I mean, it was just a great storyline. Just brings back great memories.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just remembering this. So with all the security that had to be there for everything like that, he said that even, what did he say? If the WWF had sold out the whole Coliseum, if they were at the bigger one that was the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, the big one, after all those death threats, the amount of security that they would have had to have, that they would have paid for, that would have been necessary there, even if they sold out the place, they wouldn't have made any money.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. He said, I'm pretty sure he said something along those lines when they talked about this podcast. So
crazy.
Yeah. That's what I got, man. Anybody else got any thoughts on that one?
No, it was just it was just a weird time in the world, and they played it off perfectly.
Yeah, they did. I think with the Vince, he always finds a way to work the current events into the story.
Vinnie Mac.
Yeah.
Wish you could do that nowadays, man.
Yeah, right.
He needs some liberties back, dude. You gotta give him some creative. It's like comedy and entertainment. You gotta be able to push the boundaries, man. Everything's just going downhill.
Dude, you saw what they did when the Big Show pulled down the Rusev's Bulgarian flag. I mean, he had to apologize. Knows. He had to apologize the next week.
I don't even know what you're talking about. This is Golden Attitude Era podcast.
I'm relating it to now, genius.
I don't even know who any of those guys are. Just messing with you, fast man. But I'm not messing around anymore because I got called out last week. I got called out by the Scales over there. I'm calling him Scales because he's a little snake. Now he's not the stunning one this week. He's my opponent this week. He's bringing out the real belt. But you know what? In the same light, I do got to be humble and hungry because I got whooped last time. So I'm going to put my belt away out of respect, and I'm going to toss it over to the fast man so he can get us set up and get us ready to go. Maybe explain a little bit what's going on for potential new viewers.
Yep. So for those that are new to the Golden Attitude Era podcast, we've done basically every week, maybe minus one, a trivia segment where each of us try to stump the scales, stump the stunning one, excuse me. So far the stunning one
is right. Scales is right.
Okay. So far the stunning one is undefeated. We've been close. We've had a couple of 2 counts, but he's kicked out. So let's see if the $1,000 champ can give him a good run for his money. I got some good questions ready to go. Again, gentlemen, don't forget, it's best out of 5. So don't forget to just send me your answers. So challenge $1,000 champ. Are you ready? Regal, are you ready? All right.
Disrespectful. Aaron William Regal to him.
All right, Commissioner Regal. All right.
No, that's not cool.
All right. Shush you. All right. Question number 1. At SummerSlam 1992, we all know where that took place. From Wembley Stadium, there were 2 dark matches. Name the opponents in either of them.
Oh boy.
In either of them.
Are we getting like 4 points if we get all 4? Like, or you just have to name one?
Yes, if you get both of them all, if you get all, you get a point. If you get all 4 right, you get 4 points. I'll give you 1 point per wrestler.
Okay.
How about this? Can we toss this one out?
Okay.
I don't.
So there's
I
no
definitely
bonus
don't know.
tonight.
I'd be guessing.
So there'll be no bonus. Okay. Then there'll be no bonus tonight.
That's fine.
That's
All
fine.
right. Question number 1. Then question number
Hold on,
1.
before you do that, what was the answers?
Yeah.
Papa Shango versus Tito Santana. And then you had a 6-man tag with Jim Duggan and the Bushwhackers versus the Nasties and the Mountie.
Not gonna lie. Tito was gonna be one of my
Yeah,
guesses.
I was gonna guess Tito and Rick Martel.
They both would have had a point.
All right. Anyways,
All
go
right.
ahead.
So that was a practice question. So question number 1. Royal Rumble 95. Who did Razor Ramon fight for his Intercontinental title?
I should know this. Say it one more time. I just need to hear it.
Who did Razor Ramon face at Royal Rumble 95 for his Intercontinental title? Okay. Question 2. Survivor Series 95. Who? Remember, these were traditional tag matches. This one was a 4-on-4.
Okay.
This was a 4-on-4 one. Who was on? Sorry, 5-on-5. Sorry. Who was on the Undertaker's team?
Wait.
It was 4-on-4. 4-on-4. Who was on the Undertaker's team at the Survivor Series in 1995?
So 3 other guys.
Yes.
95.
You get a point for each one you get here. Not including the Undertaker.
I'm pretty sure of one of them.
Then write it down.
No. Oh, this is hard.
I'm not gonna give you guys. Wasn't gonna give you guys layups tonight. I just see Kyle's head his brain just spinning right now.
I want to tell you that once we're both submitted, I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking right now, and I'm mad at myself because I can't think of it.
Oh, this is really hard. Damn. I'm gonna take a shot. Taking a stab at it. It's a good question.
Okay, so you're all in, Steve?
Yeah, I put mine in.
I was trying to think of who was in the crew of the clique or whatever. Not the clique, but his crew. The BK crew or whatever.
BSK?
Yeah. That's how I was trying to figure that. That's how I was trying to answer that question. Because that's how they did stuff back then.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Next question. Who did at SummerSlam 89? Who did the Brain Busters beat? It was a tag match, obviously.
Locked in.
Yep, you're both logged in. All right, question number 4. Okay. Still with SummerSlam 89.
Okay.
2-part. Who did Hogan team with? And also who did they defeat?
So what?
Hogan was in a tag match at SummerSlam 89. Who was his tag team partner? And who did they defeat?
89. Oh, it's gonna be a bad week for me. You might take me down. I'm really stumped this week.
I'm pretty confident in that one.
Yeah.
And the final question. And this normally would have been the bonus question.
Okay.
SummerSlam 90. Who did Hogan? Wait a minute, hold on. Sorry, shoot, I gave part of it away. Sorry. What was the main event of SummerSlam 90?
Who did Hogan wrestle, huh?
SummerSlam 90. What was the main event?
No idea. I'm totally gone on this one. Let's go this guy. Just because I remember a picture. I might be thinking Royal Rumble though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the beginning.
Is there a consensus winner, or we don't know yet?
Well, we're going to go back to the beginning now.
Oh my God.
So you both got the first question right. It was double J, Jeff. J-E-F-F, J-A-R-R-E-T-T.
He lost that match, right?
He did. Jarrett. That's when Jarrett won the belt. Correct.
DQ.
No. Jarrett won the belt.
Well, no, it should have been a DQ because that little rat Brody got in there.
Okay. Question number 2. Who was on the Undertaker's team? Kyle was 1,000% correct.
Wow.
Was I really?
Yes, Savio, Godwin, and Fatu.
There you go.
It was Minion.
I just said God. I took Godwin. I give you part credit for having one of the head shrinkers there, Steve. So it's 4-2.
See, where I was getting stuck with the last one is I never remember if Rikishi was Fatu or Sam or the other one.
Fatu. He's Fatu. Samu was a different guy. Sam.
So basically, you know that scene in Ace Ventura when he goes clam chowder and he goes, "They're red or they're white." That's basically.
I can never get that correct.
When I was like that, I'm like, Fatu. That's kind of how I was with that.
All right, let's move on. Question 3: Who did the Brainbusters beat?
Killer Bees.
No.
Rocker.
Neither of you got this right. The Hart Foundation. I'm surprised you both got that wrong.
I remember them going at each other.
The 4th question: Who did Hogan team with at SummerSlam '89, and who did they defeat?
Macho and Zeus.
Kyle was 100% right.
Bro, you got
part of it right, Steve. You got Brutus right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Ted DiBiase.
That was right in that whole
You would think
line.
it would have been that. That would have been a good.
That was that whole line of like the Big Boss Man series stuff, dude.
Yeah.
That's why I was confident in it. I was like, I know what that is.
I had my years mixed up because I had DiBiase and Andre, but I think that was the year before.
88.
Dude, am I going to take him down?
Yeah.
The final question. The final question was, and I apologize. I must have meant Survivor Series 90.
Oh.
It was Hogan.
Sorry to interrupt the latest installment of the Three Stooges, but it's about time your fans listen to a voice worth hearing. You know, up until now, I thought the Stunning One was the king of you fools, but something tells me he's as much of a jester as a $1,000 chump in the Fast Boy. Since you ignored my first challenge, maybe you'll take me up on this one. I challenge the entire Golden Attitude Era podcast to a 3-on-1 battle for the championship. Think it over, and don't hurt yourselves.